Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. Welcome to Interior Wellness TV. Today we are interviewing Wendy Marr and I'm so excited to have her. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her and then we'll get into some questions. So Wendy is a lover of life. She's a dedicated wife and mother and delights in fortuitous moments of connection with her fellows. Her purpose is to infuse joy and gratitude into every moment. I'm so excited. She spent her first 30-plus adult years joyfully sharing the love of music with neighborhood children as a piano teacher and raising her 3 sons. Presently, she serves coordinator and office manager for Let's Move Studio and Natural in Kamloops, BC. She is part of the support team for Enlightened Alliances, the home of the International Passion Test Organization, and a test facilitator. She assists clients in clarifying their passions, the things that make their heart sing. So I'm so excited to have you, Wendy. Thank you for joining us.
I'm so excited to be here too, Elizabeth. This is so fun.
Yeah, I really enjoy Google Hangouts because it's kind of casual. It's just like come as you are and we can have a chat and hopefully we inspire our listeners with some of the things that you have to say and they learn more about you.
Oh.
So I have a bunch of questions. We're going to follow some of the questions, but we can also go wherever we want to and see where this takes us. So the first thing that I want to know is, and a lot of people might be curious, is what is the passion test? I've heard so much about it, but I want to know a little bit the passion test.
Well, it's this amazing, very simple process actually, but it's so powerful. A set of questions, a system that helps you reach down into your heart. You know, we spend a lot of the time in our head thinking about what we should do, shouldn't do, and what we're supposed to do, and how to make a living and all that stuff. And oftentimes we lose sight of the things that really bring us joy. So the passion test itself is a process to get down into your heart, into what makes your heart sing, and clarify those things, and then start bringing them into your life to bring more joy and fulfillment.
Oh, that sounds like a wonderful process. I'm curious about how you came to the passion test. Like, what was your journey that led you in your life to discover passion test along the way? I'm sure there's been other things that you've been passionate about or discovered on the way. So tell us a little bit about you, your life, your journey.
Oh, well, I've had an amazing life. I love life. I started out life just loving music. I just wanted to play the piano. The 2 things I wanted to do when I was a little girl was be a mom and and play the piano. And so, of course, being a mom took a few years. But when I was 6, I woke up in the morning. When I was 6 years old, like I begged mom every day from the time I was 4, please, I want to take piano lessons. And when I was 6, I remember coming out of my bedroom, out to the dining room table. There were 2 quarters and a Leila Fletcher piano book, beginner's book there. And I knew. I grabbed it, ran out the door. Next door, Aunt Dottie, our neighbor lady, we called her Aunt Dottie, and ran over, and I never looked back. So I spent a good share of my young life just immersed in learning piano. In fact, mommy would have to toss me outside to go into the sunshine because I just wanted to turn the page and find out what was new. So that was really my passion as a young girl, woman, young mother. And I've had many years of fulfillment, had so many young children, right up to grandmothers, everywhere from, I would say, 4 to 94 in my studio. And my motto, I guess, always for teaching was just to bring joy in music. And it didn't, you know, if they wanted to take exams and go further, we would work on that. But if they just wanted to learn to play nursery rhymes or hymns or just easy classics or even pop songs, we would just work on that and have lots of fun. And also, it instills a lot of confidence into people and a sense of accomplishment. So that's what I did. It was a way for me to bring some added income into the family by working out of my home most of the time. I did work out of studios a few times, But most of the time it was just out of my little sweet studio in my home. They would come in, and so that consumed me while I was raising my sons. I have 3 sons, and my 2 older ones. That was what I did. And then back in 2011, life shifts happened. It was a really year of transition for our whole family, with 3 passings of dear loved ones within 1 year, and financial crash, and having to close down a business that was very much a vital part of our life, moving to a new community, and yeah, I was just searching for something to do. I had tried some different network marketing type things, threw my whole heart and soul into them, but it just wasn't really working for me. I wasn't happy. And then I happened to be online watching a live online presentation, actually, and this lady in a pink outfit danced onto the stage live. I think it was happening down in San Diego, and she was talking about finding your joy and your passion, and I was transfixed to the screen. I literally sat there like this, watching my computer, and that was my first touch with the passion test, my first time that it came across my life. I tucked it away, and a few months later I was sitting at my computer deleting emails. And you know how you get all those in your inbox, and delete, 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 too many to look at today. They're not, non-essentials. And I hit the delete button, and the very next email that came up was this lady talking. And it was, hey, that's that happy lady. And it was Janet Gray Atwood, the co-author of the Passion Test, the book, this lovely book right here. Whoopsie. And yeah, so I clicked on the link. Do you want some more information? Within 20 minutes, someone had called me. A live person called me. We talked, and I knew that this was what I was supposed to be doing, was to learn this, go to the training. It happened to be in LA, California. So the next scary thing was, I have to share it with my husband, but he came in the door that night, and I just reached out my hand, and I guess a passion came out of me. I said, sweetie, I want to show you something. I found something online today. He didn't even roll his eyes or anything. He just came right up. I guess he felt from me the authenticity of it, and he sat down and watched this little video. I said, I really want to do this. And he just looked at me and he said, it's you. Do it. We'll make it happen. So that's how I went to the training in 2011 in the spring, actually May, just about however many years ago that is for, and it's amazing transformation in our whole family, learning these principles of the Passion Test.
Wow, thank you so much. I love hearing your story again. What's a few things that struck me is when you said you were a child and you wanted to play piano. That's essential passion right there. Like, that's not coming from your head at all. That's just coming from some inspired soul. I think so often we're thinking, what is my passion? What should I do? And we're really in our heads about it. But if you take the example of a child, they don't think about it. They just know they want to play piano or whatever it is they want to do. So that was really inspiring. And then when you said you hit rock bottom, basically, I think so many people can relate to that. Like, you lost people, you lost finances, you open space. And that's when you found the Passion Test. That's amazing and so meaningful, because how many people who are listening right now would have that same experience, that it wasn't until they lost a lot that they found what they needed?
Yeah, life is life. It has those moments of the valleys, and then you're up on the mountaintops. And one of the things I always remember when I'm in the valley is that's where the verdancy is. That's where the green is, where the growth is, where the the streams are, and the meadows. And sometimes there's some rocky, craggy kind of stuff going on down there, but you can always go up. And no matter what curveballs or have come my way in life, there's always one of my greatest mottos that I use is my great grandmother told me, behind the clouds the sun are always shining. And so that's always been in the back of my mind to just look for the sunshine, look for the smile. I wanted to share too
Yeah,
that,
that's wonderful.
you know, the journey of life is so amazing. I don't regret one moment in my life. Um, each one is a lesson,
Mm.
and I think that's even in the times when there's a lot of heartache, there's like sorrow, there's like fear. Um, After coming through it, it makes you who you are today. And there's always the sun is always shining. One of the things I did want to share today is another little book that I have, and you can see that there's lots of little papers sticking out here. But this piece is Every Step by Thich Nhat Hanh, just the sweetest Vietnamese monk. This was my first opening to that word peace is every step, um, and leads me today is knowing that, the dandelion has my smile. I was a young mother with my two older sons, very busy, active toddlers, and remember washing dishes at the sink, and the next day reading in the book that washing dishes can be a meditation. It can be a joyful experience. And I took that to heart instead of like, oh my God, there's a stack of dishes. It'll never get done every single time now. 30 years later, every time I do the dishes, I love doing the dishes. I let the water run over my hands, and as you wash them, all the stuff from the meals, and sometimes you got to scrub a little bit, but it all washes off, and then they're all sparkling clean, and they're sitting there on the drying rack. And it's, the simplest things, you can find peace and joy in your life.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. And it's true to your title that you've written down here. You're a passionate lover of life. I want to ask you what makes your heart sing, but it sounds like the simple things make your heart sing, like washing dishes or anything like that. But what else makes your heart sing?
There's a song, and I remember as a young girl sitting at my great grandmother's piano, and she had this old sheet music, and I was sitting like looking up at the, at the on the piano, and it was I love life, and I want to live, want to drink of its fullness, take all it can give. I love life, every moment must count. And I remember, and then as I learned to play it, then I could sing it, and I just remember belting it out, and that became a part of me, and that is who I am. I love life. Every day is like a present. It's kind of like Christmas morning. You don't know what's going to happen. And so when I wake up in the morning, um, I like to have my curtain open beside my bed just a little bit to let the fresh air in. And I'm so blessed to live with fruit trees outside my windows for the last about 4 years. And right now it's an apricot tree. And I just look out, the leaves rustling, in the wind. Sometimes there's some little sparrows sitting in there, and I just think I am so blessed. Wow, wonder what's going to happen today. And I just get this thrill goes through me, and it is the simple things of life that spending a moment just my oldest son came to me last night, and I was reading my book, before going to bed on the couch, and he just looks down at me and he says, Mom, can I just hang out with you for a bit? I just want a mom hug. That fills me up. you know Walking down the street and seeing a little baby or a little puppy. I mean, the animals, little children just thrill me. This, I don't know, going out, butterflies, waterfalls. I'm crazy about waterfalls. Just there's something so rejuvenating about them. So life just has so much beauty and so much wonder. It's there everywhere you go.
That's wonderful and so inspiring. There's so much beauty around us and so much to be grateful for. So I think that that's something to inspire everybody who's listening as well. And having support in you a few times too, and you're grateful for that. Your grandmother and the influence that could have, just that statement written that you could read over and over, and maybe that's contributed to making you such a grateful person. And you mentioned your sons and your husband. So tell me a little bit more about support in your life and why you think it's important.
Well, community, a family. I mean, not everyone is blessed to have a family or has that. I mean, but community is so important. And it's there. One of my passions is to be surrounded by expanding and uplifting people. And it's, amazing when you put that energy out and you are an expanding and uplifting person, then, I mean, I just overflowing. I mean, every time I go on my Facebook, there's positive quotes. If I'm having a down day, somebody else is up and I can be inspired. I learn from everybody I meet. And some people have, recipes or herbal remedies or just, I don't know, there's everybody is inspiring. You can even I've learned some amazing things walking in the downtown in the streets of our city that we live in from the people that are there, you know busking, or even the people asking for handouts. And if you pause and as you pass them, I make it a practice to look into their eyes, and if they're open, some are not, and you don't want to make them feel uncomfortable, but just to smile. And the smiles that I get back, and even the comments, even when they ask, do you have any spare change today? And I say, sweetie, I don't, but you have a beautiful day. And 9 times out of 10, they come back, you too, with a great big smile. So there's just beauty all around in community. Um, Seek it out. It's there. Support is always there.
Oh, that's wonderful. Are you always this happy?
Oh, I've been accused of being too happy. Yes. My purpose is to
Good. I
spread
love that
joy.
answer. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I
So
do have
what
days.
are your passions? You mentioned those. What are your passions and your purpose? And go back to what you were saying when you have days as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm human. We're human. We're perfectly imperfect in every moment. That's part of what I believe we're doing here in this grand life that we have. Everybody stubs their toes. There's tragedy, there's accidents, there's illness. Um, but even just thinking yesterday, as I was at work, a gentleman with MS coming in to get treated, and I mean, when we were finished helping him and getting him back, and he was going out the door to get back on the handy dart to go to his residence where he lives, beaming smile, happy, joyful. This fella can't walk. He was an athlete, a hockey player. And here he is. But
Wow.
there's joy. You can have joy, and I mean, though people like that inspire me, and so there's always something to be thankful for. Gratitude is a huge practice in my life. And at the times when I've been low and down there and everything seems gloomy and like scary, um, gratitude is where I always turn. I keep a little journal beside my bed, and um, you know, it, I just write down. Sometimes there was a time back in 2011 when it just seemed it was overwhelming on the physical plane for me. But I thank goodness for gratitude. I would made myself write 3 things every night before I went to bed, and each week it had to be 3 separate things for 7 days. I couldn't repeat the same thing. I couldn't say my bed, my pillow, my car, or whatever every night. I had to purposely think out. That's this little assignment I gave myself to say what I'm grateful for. 3 things, different things every day. After 2 weeks, after like a week, I could go 5 easily. After a couple of weeks, the sun was shining again in my heart.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. It's a good practice to use. Is just write out what you're grateful for. It really brings you back to center. What other things do you use? What other practices do you use to stay sane in this crazy world?
Well, I shared with you the pieces every step. That's huge. Another, I just love what is. I've learned to love what is. Uh, Not always the easiest thing to do, but there is a process shared with. It's called The Work by Byron Katie, and I actually learned about it when I took the Passion Test Facilitator training. That to me was a um, huge tool to use. So I call all these things like meditation, um, positive thinking, gratitude, the passion test, the work. It's all I have like this little toolbox, and just draw from them. So it's a way of examining your thoughts. And you know, I encourage everyone to go to thework.com and just check it out. There's lots of videos, but it's a very deep process, but also again very simple, and loving what is. I mean, you can't change it. You know, if things that happen as they go by in life, they happen. It's like water under the bridge. You're not gonna, you know, you're not gonna get it. Uh, you're not gonna get it back. You're in the flow, and to stay in the flow is a very important a part of what I do. Oh, I don't know.
Such a good reminder. I've heard that suffering just comes from within our minds, and it's our perceptions of things. So if you're trying to change what is, like the weather or somebody else, it's going to cause you a lot of suffering. So it's a wonderful reminder. I love the work of Byron Katie.
Yeah. I mean, like even in traffic right now in the town where I'm living, you know, there's several big construction projects going on. One at a major bridge crossing over from one side of the river to the downtown core. So you know, lots of traffic congestion sometimes. I just practice breathing. When I come up, you know, I'm sitting there. It gives me an opportunity to just relax in my seat. You know, in the car, just take some deep breaths and let the traffic flow. And I still get to work. You know, I found so often that I'm always there at the perfect time, even if it's a few minutes late. You know, there's a reason why it would have happened, and I just go with the flow of it. I also wanted to share that one of the latest things in the last year that I've really been has been blessing me personally is developing a deeper self-love for Wendy. And that's something that, you know, how many of us, you know, really love ourselves. It's very easy to find, you know, the things about ourselves that we don't think are perfect. I mean, many of us, there's lots of comparisons, and maybe we've been told, you know, maybe your nose is too big, or, you know, you're too chubby, or you're too skinny, or, you know, all these different things that we hear from the time, especially little girls, but it is little boys too. As we grow up, we're not good enough, and there's always somebody that's better. But I really practice self-love. Each day I have a beautiful practice that really wasn't too easy when I started it, but in the mirror every morning, as I'm brushing my teeth or after the shower, I'll just stand there, gaze into my eyes, and tell how magnificent I am and how much I love you. In fact, if you can, even right now, just hold your hands over your heart and look down towards your hands and just say, I love you. Say it out loud.
I love you.
No audible. I love you.
I love you.
Like as if you were holding a child or a little animal or something. I love you. And you can feel
I love you.
this tenderness. So in those moments when you've like made a mistake, or, you know, or even when you're grumpy or a harsh word, somebody has ticked you off at work, you can just go in and you've reacted in a way that you're not happy with the way that you reacted. Love yourself. Go give yourself a hug, and you will remember. You will remember the kindness. You'll remember the joy that's in here. And there's one phrase.
It's so wonderful and so important. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. And if you can just practice having an unconditional positive regard for yourself, it does amazing. You know, when you do make a mistake, I mean, yeah, we all put our foot in our mouth, or, you know, have grumpy days, say a quick word, or roll our eyes at somebody. Just give yourself a hug and say, hey, just remind yourself. And even like if it's something like embarrassing, giggle at yourself, have a little giggle, have fun.
It's so true. We're our own harshest judge or worst enemies, and so many people are so hard on themselves on the inside. So such a good reminder. And it's awesome, because I was going to ask you, what holds people back and what do you think that they can do? And you're so intuitive, you already answered it. It comes down to self-love and caring for yourself and being gentle and easy.
Mm-hmm. Where, life is we never know what's around the corner. Each moment, grasp each moment as it comes along. I mean, when you're sitting there with your cup of tea or your cup of coffee, or you sit down to a meal, I mean, be filled with gratitude that you have it. And at the same time, savor the aroma, savor the taste as it goes into your mouth, and just enjoy those precious moments. Take time, even a sip of water. I mean, there's so many people that, clean water is not something that's easily accessible to them. Just cherish every moment and live every moment. Um, and if it's like a roller coaster, well, just like woohoo, down we go, because you'll come up again.
I love that. So inspiring. You've told us so many things, and I wonder if you could summarize or tell us other things too. And here's the question. What are 3 tips that you can give our listeners for living an inspired life?
So number 1, I'm going to go back to the passion test, because actually it flows really well into the 3 tenets of the passion test, or the process. Number 1 is intention. So the intention of no matter what you're going to do, if it's a task or you're stepping into your day, I mean, it can be planting a garden or whatever, you set the intention of what you want to do. And then you put attention to it. So the second is attention. And that can mean a variety of things. I mean, if it's gardening time, so I've been working in my garden, that just comes to mind. You got to go out there and work the soil. You got to clear off the debris from last year, turn it over, do the preparation. You got to poke the seeds in the ground. If you don't do that, or plant the little seedlings, nothing's going to grow. And then the third is no tension. So intention, attention, and no tension. And no tension is my favorite. When I first was learning about that, the first thought that came into my head was no tension. That's like a bunch of, that doesn't exist. Stress is a normal part of life. And so it may be, that's just how you position it, how you think about it. The no tension zone is the fact that you don't have to be in control of everything all the time. The analogy I like to use lately is you start out life, and in your awareness, and as your consciousness is awakening, and you're like this little leaf in the stream of life, and you're just like going all over. You go wherever it takes you, and it's just bouncing around. And then maybe you graduate a little more, you get some tools, you realize that you can jump up onto a little stick or a log, have a little bit more control, maybe get a paddle, a little stick to paddle with, and you do that. And then pretty soon you graduate and you're in a kayak, and you like to stick to the edge, but pretty soon you are rushing down those rapids because you are prepared with all the tools that have been given to you as you come along. Your breath, your gratitude, your meditation, whatever it is, everybody has tools at their disposal. And then, even have your helmet on, and you can, if you flip over, you're protected, and you can right yourself. You learn how to do that, and you can cruise and go all kinds of magnificent places in life. So intention, attention, and no tension.
Intention, attention, and no tension. I love it. You're one of the most inspiring people that I know, and it's so awesome to be able to hear this information from you. So how does it work for people to actually work with you when you do the passion test or whatever work that you do? Because I know that there's going to be lots of people saying, how do I get more of this woman? She's amazing. So what does it look like when people work with you directly?
Well, we just get together, we get to know each other, and then I take you through the process. You make a list of all the things that make your heart sing. And if you don't know, I have special ways of helping you find out. But you just go back and possibly even to what you used to love as a child or younger, before life, work, and bills kind of took over your life, and think about those things. And we go through a really sweet process of discovery. my business is called Heartbound Discoveries, because we're getting out of our little head up here, who's so amazing and so important, but then we just sink down into our hearts and feel what feels good, what fills me with joy. And then once we've discovered your passions, and the secret to living a passionate life is, when faced with a choice, decision, or opportunity, you're going to choose in favor of your passions. Every day, look at your little list that we've discovered and just choose in favor of those. Make some decisions. Include them in your life. It may not be your life's occupation, may not be the bulk of what you do every day, but if you start putting them into your life, you'll become more joy-filled and more fulfilled as well. So you just got to get in touch with me by email, which is heartbounddiscoveries@gmail.com, or you can give me a call, and we will 250-314-4106. You can just give me a call. We'll set up an appointment. I can do it over Skype or anywhere, coffee shops, your home, out in nature, wherever you feel most comfortable. We just get together and spend some time together discovering what makes your heart sing.
Oh, that's wonderful. You have so much to offer people, Wendy, and I'm so grateful to have you in my life.
Oh, I love you very much too, Elizabeth.
And we're going to post the contact info for Wendy down below as well. So if any of you missed her email address or contact details, you can catch that and find her if you want to talk with her further. I'm sure she'd be welcome just a phone call to learn more as well. So Wendy, is there anything else that you want to leave us with? Any inspirational words or anything that we've missed today that you get?
Just make sure that as you move out into life, you look for beauty. Find it. You can find it everywhere. Keep looking for beauty and breathing in.
Much, Wendy. This has been a wonderful conversation. I'm so excited to share this with all of our listeners. And thank you to everyone who has joined us today on the. We're going to be posting it online for everybody to see. We're so excited that you've joined us and hope to talk to Wendy again. Thank you again. Bye, Wendy.
Bye. Blessings and joy.